Hello students, welcome back. In continuation to AWS basic infrastructure overview, today I'm going to explain about AWS's wavelength zone. So if we take a look at AWS wavelength zones, as per AWS definition, AWS wavelength is an infrastructure offering optimized for mobile edge computing applications, and these wavelength zones are AWS infrastructure deployment that are embedded. If you just pay attention, embedded AWS compute and storage services within communication service providers 5G networks. So that means the communication service provider that we use for internet access through wireless through using our mobiles. So AWS wavelength zone has embedded their own infrastructure within their data centers, because every CSP has their own data center also. So what AWS has done, they are also keeping their resources within their within CSP's data center, so that we have quick access and nearest access to the applications. I will elaborate that in coming slides with some diagrams. Before that, let's quickly have a look at wavelength zones features provided by AWS. So if we take a look at AWS wavelength zones features, like this is the definition I just explained a bit. And if we go a little bit down, you see here choice of compute instances. So as of now, AWS wavelength is offering T3 medium, extra large, two extra large instances for applications requiring cost effective general purpose compute. And for ML, it is also offering ch4 dn.2 extra large instances, and then the EBS storage is also there, and connectivity to 5G network that you have to see if this is available in your network in your area. So but however, AWS is expanding gradually, and soon if it's not available in and around your area, that will be available as well. But like these are the features which are available with the AWS wavelength zone. So now I will get back to my slide, and here, so what are the benefits? If we see, it helps to have low latency and high throughput. So like we can have more fast access to our application. Let's say if it's gaming application, streaming application, this is really giving a nice add-on here. And it is getting connected using the 5G networks, and it's very good for edge applications. So like edge applications which require really direct access for the users. Let's get a bit now dive into it. So for example, in general way, I'm taking an example that, let's say you have hosted your application in one of the regions. I'm taking example here for India. So in Mumbai, Bharat, we are going to host our application. So this application is hosted, this is our compute resources, storage sources, and we have auto scaling in front of this so that we can auto scale to everything. But that those application sources are residing in the Mumbai region. Now let's say you are in a car, or maybe you are using your mobile using 5G, or maybe you are still at home but still you are using any mobile device. So now how you are accessing your applications to reach here? So like what is the application flow in this case? So in this case, all these mobile users are using communication service provider. So communication service provider, before now I complete the flow, I'll just give a quick glimpse of communication service provider. So these are kind of internet service provider, but basically they are giving you wireless communication, because your mobile devices are using wireless. That's why even the wavelength is coming into picture, because you are using electromagnetic waves. So like before we complete this complete flow, I will just explain a little bit about communication service providers. So if I talk about communication service provider, that how communication service provider is connecting through your mobile devices, let's take a look about very popular communication service providers. So like if I talk about India, in Bharat or in India, you will see here Airtel, BSNL, Reliance, Vodafone India. These are the top service providers. There are many more, but I'm just taking here few names. Same way, if we take a look about Europe, then you will see Orange, KPN, Telenor, Vodafone are few names, or British Telecom in UK are the few names they provide the services. Same way, if we go a bit further, then USA, Verizon, Cox Communications, CenturyLink, Altis Europe, these are the communication service provider through which you can use the 5G network on your mobile devices. Same way, Australia, Telstra, Vodafone, Optus, TPG Telecom are the communication service providers. So these communication service providers are providing the wireless 5G services to your mobile devices. So now we know that what CSP is. I will just go back to our previous diagram. So like all these mobile devices are connecting using 5G to the communication service provider towers, and then this tower is further connected to internet, and then this internet connection is further taking connection to the actual data center where your application is running. So this is the actual flow. Let's say you open up one of the application, then that application will have this complete flow, and this flow to access application on the mobile devices. So like your mobile are connecting using 5G to the tower of CSP, then it is further connected to internet, and then it is further taking your request to the data center. So here what we notice is high latency because it has to go through many networks. Then it is reaching finally to the destination and then getting access back to your mobile device to display you what you have requested. To avoid this high latency and this big flow, we can minimize it. And how we can minimize it? So rather making it that longer, what now Amazon has introduced here is the wavelength zone. What Amazon has done, they have collaborated with communication service provider, because every communication service provider has their own data center. So now Amazon, what they have done, they are keeping their own resources like their compute, their storage within the data center of communication service provider. So here they call it AWS Wavelength. And with this AWS Wavelength zone, they are using their compute and resources, placing them within the CSP service provider. And now when you are making a request, then that request is not going that far, but rather with your 5G, it's directly connected to the nearest communication service provider data center, and you are able to access your application very quickly. So that means now there is very low latency, and also the flow to access your application on mobile devices is also less. So this was an overview about AWS Wavelength Zones. I hope I made it clear. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to write in the comment box. Please do like, share and subscribe my channel. And I see you in the next chapter of the AWS resources. And then we start getting into the AWS console. Thank you very much.